All right, so we're going from degrees to radians. So if we have 0 degrees, how many radians is that? 0. That's the easy one. Okay. So a bunch of these we did yesterday. Okay. 30 degrees we did yesterday. Pi over 6. So come over here. I'm just going to write pi divided by 6. And I'm going to choose a different color. Make it pop a little bit. And we got a preference?
Red.
Red it is. Okay. So how about 45? You can figure that one out? Pi over 4, because 45 goes into 184 times. So pi divided by 4. And then we did a bunch of the rest of these yet. Why is it black? We did a bunch of these yesterday. Okay. So keep going.
Pi over 3.
Pi over 3. So pi over 3. Move this up a little bit. And we got pi over what? 2. So pi divided by 2. And oh, hello.
Oh.
Got 120 degrees. So I can use the same things we did yesterday. So that's 2 pi over 3. How about 135?
3 pi over 4.
Yippers.
3 pi?
3 pi. Because 45 degrees goes 1, 2, 3 times into 135. So my next one, oopsies.
5 pi over 6.
Yeah, so I'm putting these in the wrong spot. So I should put, I'm just going to put it up here and then fix it. 2 pi over 3.
Pi.
Ooh, ouch.
Wait, which one?
For 120 degrees. I forgot to put that one in there. 2 pi over 3, or 2/3 pi. So this goes in for 120 degrees.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now we're at 5 pi over 6.
Yeah, 5
pi divided by 6.
Pi.
That says pi, and then everything's just going to be bigger than 1 pi. Okay. 7 pi over 6. 7 pi over 6. And then
5
8,
pi over 4.
which is the same as, well, yeah, 5 pi over 4. 5 pi divided by 4. And then we have 8 pi over 6, which is the same as 4 pi over 3. So 240 degrees is 4 pi over 3. Pi divided by 3. If I got 1 pi over 2, pi is 2 pi over 2, so 270 is
3 pi over 2.
3 pi over 2. You got this. And keep working away around. So 300 degrees.
5
pi over 3.
5 pi over 3. And then this is 5 pi over 4. This is 6 pi over 4. So that is 7 pi over 4. Oopsies. Come on. Come on, pi pi. Pi pi divided by 4. And then last but not least, in the fourth quadrant, we got 11 pi over 6. Okay. If I got halfway around is 1 pi, what's the whole way around?
2 pi.
2 pi. Okay. So that 360 degrees is also 2 pi. All right. So now that we have converted, the real question is, well, about these values like around here.
The coordinates?
These are the coordinates. Okay. Now remember, this is a unit circle. So a couple things to remember. On a unit circle, my radius is 1. So the distance from here to here
0.
is 1 horizontally. So that's 1, but I'm not going up. So what's the other one going to be?
0.
0. Okay. So it's 1, 0. I rotate 90 degrees up. This time my x value is 0, but my y value is going to be 1. Okay. If I go to the left,
-1.
my x value is -1, but my y value is 0 because I'm not moving up at all. And at the bottom, I'm going down, so my x value is still 0, but my y value is -1 because I'm going down. Okay. Everything else is going to be smaller than, or between -1 and +1. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to redraw a pretty green triangle. Let's see if I can do this with the shapes tool. Okay. So let's see if this will work. Oh, nice. Except it's not green. It's blue. That's fine. So you can see I got a 30-degree angle right around here. So if I use my 30, 60, 90 triangle information, then that means this right here has to be a half, because it's half of my hypotenuse, which is 1. And then my long leg is square root of 3 over 2. So that means my x value up here is square root of 3 over 2. So square root, square root, square root, square root, square root 3 over 2. And my y value is this distance right here from the axis up to that point. So over here, so that's just going to be 1/2. Whoopsies. I have a comma here, but I forgot the comma there. Here we go, 1/2. So that is the x and y coordinate at 30 degrees. At 45 degrees, I am using a different triangle. So let's go to Shapes tool. This time I'll make that pink. So hold the Shift key down. I'm looking down here. And my radius is still 1, but now my x and my y values, it's a 45, 45, 90. So I'm going to draw this one here. Come on. Oh, holding the Shift key down. Come on now. There we go. So this time, if this is 1, that's my hypotenuse, then either one of my bases is going to be 1 divided by square root of 2. And we're going to take a moment and talk about that. So let's see where I can fit that on here. Oh, let's fill it this way. 1 divided by square root of 2. Because if this is my hypotenuse, either one of my legs is my hypotenuse divided by square root of 2. Oh, let's just use eraser. But the problem is 1 divided by square root of 2. I'm okay with it. Textbooks, tests, don't like it. So we're going to rationalize it on there. So whatever you do to the bottom of it, do to the top. Oopsies, hello. So that's going to be 1 times square root of 2. Square root of 2. Square root of 2 times square root of 2 is square root of 4, which is 2. So my coordinate points up here, since this is an isosceles triangle, are both square root of 2 over 2. And I'm going to show you a little shortcut trick on how to do this in a moment. So square root of 2 over 2, comma, square root of 2 over 2. I will show you how to memorize these without too much trauma. Whoa, hello, come on back. And then if you take a look at 60 degrees, it's the same as 30 degrees, except take the x and the y in. Because I'm taking it, the long leg was this flat, and now it's going to be tall. If I take a look at the picture, so it's the same triangle as the 30, 60, 90, but I just rotated it. So since I rotated it, the x and the y switch.
So it'd be 1/2.
1/2 comma square root of 3 over 2. So I'm just going to take these. I'm going to do a little Control A, Control C. I'm going to paste them over here. And then, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, well. So 1 divided by 2, and then comma, and then square root of 3 over 2. Square root of 3, and divide by 2. Get rid of that sucker over there. Okay. Every other coordinate is just going to be a version of this. We have symmetry across the x-axis. So starting down here, I'll Control A, Control C. I paste it over here. I just got to remember something. In the second quadrant, all my x values are, all your x values are
Negative.
negative. So it's going to be negative kind of positive. So change that negative square root of 3 over 2, or change that positive square root of 3 over 2 to negative. And let's scoot that back over here. And then change this one, Control A, Control C. Same thing. My y values will all stay positive, and my x values will all go negative. Negative, and over a little bit, a little prettier than this one. Same thing. I'm just copying and pasting. You just have to get the signs correct. So all my x values should be negative in the second quadrant. Questions thus far? Not that hard, right? Okay. Same numbers in the third quadrant, but instead of one of them being negative, they're both negative.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So I'm just going to copy and paste from the top to the bottom. So this was the last one I did? Was that the last one? Or was 150 the last one? Well, let's find out. Let's paste and see what happens. Equation, paste. So 1/2 should be the short one, so that's going to be down here. And these should both be negative. So a negative here and a negative there. And I'm making these look pretty. If you just do these with the drawing tool, that's fine. Since I'm recording this, it's going to make it look a little prettier. So then this one, copy and paste, Control A, Control C, Control V, paste, make them both negative, and then move that back inside the parentheses. It's not going to really fit that great, but that's okay. You can kind of figure it out. And the last one, Control A, Control C, Control V. And these times they're both negative. So you take a few moments. You need to do the last quadrant. Okay. I shall pause. I'll put the answers in. Seriously. You need 30 degrees and you need 45 degrees. And then after that, everything's a multiple thereof, and you're taking negatives and positives. You have to know which quadrant you're in. As long as you know which quadrant you're in, you're set. Okay.
I feel like all of them except the fourth quadrant for the radians is crazy.
Yeah. So I'm not just doing this as busy work. You're going to be asked questions that are going to use the unit circle. So take a look at cosine. Look at 5 pi over 3. Okay. And then look at your unit circle. What do you see at the top left corner? Cosine. So that means the x value is equal to cosine, and the y value is equal to pi. Okay, so look at 5 pi over 3. Look at the coordinate for 5 pi over 3. What's the x value?
1/2.
1/2. Done. That's it. So when you take the unit test next week, I'm going to hand you a blank one of these. Your first part of your test is to fill this out. Okay? So this first day, it took a while, but by Friday, you're going to get this done in probably about 5 minutes. So look for 7 pi over 4. What's the y value?
7 pi over 4.
So negative square root of 2 over 2. Okay? So negative square root of 2 over 2. The last one, a little harder. Okay? So remember, tangent is defined to be y over x. So find your y value at 5 pi over 6. Should be positive something, right? Look for 5 pi over 6. What do you see?
For the x or y?
Y value, because it's y divided by x. 1/2, right?
Yeah.
And then we're going to go old school with the division sign. And then the x value should be negative something. Negative square root 3 divided by 2.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. So, ready? Keep, change, flip. So leave the 1/2. And just a multiplication. Move the 2 to the top and the square root of 3 to the bottom. Okay. So square root 3 on the bottom and 2 on the top. And what happens with our 2's now? 1 on the top and I want 1 on the bottom. They will divide out. Okay. So my answer here is negative 1 divided by square root 3. Now, in Triola world, I'm okay with that. Everybody else, it's still stuck in the 19th century. So what do you think they're not going to see? The square root in the denominator, so we have to get rid of it. So times, make a fraction bar, you get rid of it by multiplying by another square root, but we do the bottom, we do the top because we're really multiplying by 1. Square root of 3 times square root of 3 on the bottom is equal to negative, the bottom is going to be square root 9, but square root of 9 is equal to what? What's the square root of 9 equal? 3. Okay, so my final answer here is going to be negative square root. Oh, hello. Negative square root 3 divided by 3. Again, I'm okay with you leaving it as negative 1 over square root of 3. So it's a Cami doc. You can stop right there. But when you see in Galileo, you're not going to see negative 1 over square root of 3 on Galileo. You're going to have to simplify. Okay? So far, so good.
So tangent is always
Tangent's the one you're going to do for.
Tangent's always just
Y
gonna be y divided by x.
X. Yep. Okay. So we've got a few more here. Okay. So these get a little harder because some of them are negatives. I'm going to give you a few minutes to work on these on your own. What you got, Matthew, for sine of 300?
Sine of 300 negative 3 squared over 2.
Square root of 3 over 2.
Or square root
Okay.
of 3 over 2.
So it's in this fourth quadrant, so that's why it has to be negative square root 3 over 2. Okay. How about cosine negative 225? How about that one, Jerry?
Cosine?
Yeah, so what do I do first? What's the coterminal angle for negative 225?
What do you mean?
So I know that positive 225 is down here in the third quadrant.
Mm-hmm.
But negative 225, I start here and I go clockwise. I'm going to be in the second quadrant. So what's the positive coterminal angle?
Square root of 2 divided by.
Okay, so hold on. I'm not there yet. You're a step ahead. I just want to know the angle.
135.
Add 360.
135. Add 360. So 360 minus 225 is 135. That's time to let her finish. Matthew, okay. Now, Jerry, what's the x value?
Negative 2
square
square
root of
2
2 divided by 2. Okay. So on these, if you're asked to find the cosine, sine, or tangent of something, and it's not on your unit circle, you need to find the coterminal angle that is on the unit circle. Okay. Tan 120. Set it up for me, Santiago. What's the y value of 120?
Square root of 3 over 2.
So square root of 3 over 2. You see how it's the same numbers over and over? It's not tricky. I'm not trying to mess with you. Okay. And then it's division, and the y value, that's the y value. The x value is going to be negative 1/2. So we know our answer has to be negative. Okay. Key change flip. Control A, Control C, Control V. This one's a little easier because where's that square root? It's not in the bottom. It's in the top. So really, I am multiplying. Whoopsies. Multiplying by negative 2 over 1. What happens to my 2's again? They divide out. And why don't I need the 1? Because it's in the denominator. So negative square root of 3 is my answer. Okay, so negative square root 3. Okay. So take a few more moments. Do the next page. Okay, 45. How about it, Bree? What do you got? Root 2 over 2. Okay. Let us pause. And then there were 5. What's that from, Matthew? Agatha Christie novel. Also a little nursery rhyme. 10 Little Indians.
Okay. Nursery, right? Monkey? The monkey on the bed?
Monkey on the Bed is an offshoot of 10 Little Indians. Okay. They don't use 10 Little Indians because that is not PC nowadays.
I only learned that because what's it called? My dad, who's a big reader.
All right, 300. Didn't we do this one already? Sine 300. We didn't? I thought we did.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, so we'll skip that one. How about cosine of 270?
Cosine 270.
Santiago? Hey, how about cosine of 3 pi over 2? Because it's the same angle. 270 is the degree measure, and 3 pi over 2 is the radians. Okay. We need a positive coterminal angle for negative 390. So remember, we're going counterclockwise, 360, and then 30 more. So what is the positive coterminal angle for negative 390?
330.
330. So it's really just tangent 330. So that means y. What's my y value on tangent?
Negative 1/2.
So negative 1/2. And I think we've done this already. Okay. Just for a different one. Different angle measure, but it's going to be the same. So the 2's divide out. I'm going to have negative 1 over square root of 3. So negative square root 3 over 3. Okay. Over 2. Oh, over 3, sorry. That was the first time. Okay. 4 pi over 3. What's the x value? Negative something. It's either 1/2 or square root of 3 over 2. 1/2. Okay. That's it. Okay. I am now going to show you a